hi everybody, how are you? It's a lovely sunny evening out, so thanks very much for coming. So basically this workshop is about biomaterials, and we're going to give you a brief little introduction, and then we will go into making some recipes and just get some hands-on. So biomaterials, what are, some of you might have used them already. I probably should say a little bit first about how I came to use them. I'm not an expert in biomaterials, I'm an artist. And I suppose I went to college as a mature student, so it was only about 5 or 6 years ago that I was in SETU in Waterford doing my graduate show, and I had been working with sustainable materials from the land really, and creating pigments from the land at that time. And I suppose just through experimentation in my studio, I came across biomaterials. I just really was trying to make everything from the land. It was just part of the concept of my project and my graduate show. So I didn't use it at that time, but I did when I graduated, and I set up studios and a gallery in Kenny. So I'm working as a curator and an artist. It's very challenging sometimes, but so I started researching more in my studio. I work off the boglands and the biodiversity of the boglands in North Tipperary, 18 miles of it in North Kilkenny. So I just started trying to create a material to use in sculpture, because I had experimented with the pigments and with making paper and using all different materials like hazel sticks or whatever from my local area in my sculpture making. But I just wanted to create a material that we could mold or shape, and just kind of that's how it came about it really. Just kind of trial and error in my own studio. So I suppose a little bit about biomaterials. They're formed really from a polymer, a plasticizer and a solvent, okay? So what we create today, how it works, the polymer is the gelatin, is one of the recipes, and that gives the structure to the biomaterials. So just say, you can look at any of the biomaterials there in the back, okay? So the polymer, the gelatin gives you the structure, and gelatin comes from the collagen in animal parts, you know, so it's all natural. There is also like a vegan alternative. People don't like to use that. We do have agar, or I never know if that's agar or agar, so you can correct me with that. The plasticizer then is the glycerine. So that makes the product or the sculpture, the material actually more flexible. It gives it flexibility. And the solvent then is water, and that it helps the gelatin and the glycerine mix and shape. You can also use natural dye. Now, I probably should have told you to bring your own natural dyes, so sorry about that. But look, today is about just learning how to do it. And sorry, I'm not really using this at all, but anyway. So that's just a little bit on the scientific background and how it makes up. And it's important because you understand how the material is formed, because you might use, I suppose, especially as I came into the curating in Entangled and I started doing some sustainable shows, it's really important, I suppose, to me to bring exhibitions to the public program, into the public program that kind of include or are part of the circular economy, so that dealing with artists that are using waste products, you know, like a gelatin is an animal, it's waste from the animal part that's not used really for food, so it's thrown out really. I know we use it for cooking all right, but generally lots of it thrown away, so it's something that come back into the circular economy. And so, yes, I don't want to be really boring, but I'm going to give you a bit of an introduction anyway. I suppose the fashion industry is one of the areas that a lot of designers, artists in Ireland, there's only a few artists using it at the moment. Lots more starting to use it in the last 2 or 3 years, bioplastics in their process. You're probably aware of Dr. Siobhan McGibbon and Eileen Hutchin and a few of those artists that are creating work and exhibiting work in Ireland and nationally. Yeah, internationally as well, which is fantastic, you know. But I suppose just popping back to the fashion industry, we're one of the first because I suppose there's so many tons of clothing discarded every year that a lot of designers are trying to do something about it, and they are creating quite beautiful products. So I suppose artists really are we're learning from the design, I think, the design end. See, we have a biomaterial there. It's a term used to indicate materials that in some way is biologically derived. So I kind of went through there, the polymer, the plasticizer and the solvent. The polymer is a protein made up of the long chains of amino acids. I'll send you all this information later anyway by email, so that you can have it back in your own studios. Bio-based product then is made wholly or partly from biomass, such as plants, animals, or microorganisms. Biofabricated material. Materials are produced by living cells and microorganisms, such as algae, bacteria, yeast, mycelium. If you just turn to the left there, I'll just show you this. This was made from fungi, from mycelium, and I grew it just from some of mycelium from the forest on a small petri dish with agar, so it would have been, or gelatine would have been the same. So it just grow it and then add maybe chickpeas to it, let it grow in jars over weeks, and you eventually get a material that I just actually, it was Mark Clare actually. Is Mark Clare still? No, I'm not sure, is he? Possibly. Yeah, he was. So like just a mould, you can shape it into any mould or sculpture you want. So, you know, you can get a small bit of mycelium and grow that yourself at home in your studio. It's quite interesting and exciting to watch it. The main thing is in growing all these things is to try keep the mold out. So it's trial and error. So yeah, that's the biofabrication material there. And algae is quite popular as well. A lot of people use algae. So a bioassembled material is grown directly by living microorganisms such as mycelium or bacteria. Same thing again. And they may still be present in the material, so you really have to dry that out, you know, when it is shaped. Biofabricated or biomanufactured materials produced by living cells again, and microorganisms such as algae, bacteria, yeast. Yeast grows quite well as well, and mycelium. So biosynthetics or synthetic polymer materials comprised in whole or in part of bio-derived compounds. These can be either be made with biomass and or using a biological process with a living organ. But we won't be getting into this detail in one workshop. We'll be doing the basic recipes, and this is just information, so if you do carry it forward that you'll have it. I just thought it's nice for you to have a bit of information. These are Irish artists mentioned then, Dr. Eileen Hutton, Siobhan McGibbon. Who did you mention there?
Siobhan had an exhibition here.
Oh yes, she's a lovely exhibition at the moment, I think. Yes. Where is that on? It's
in Dash.
Yeah, you should look up that one. It's you probably are aware of it already. It's fantastic.
And it was had a talk, the previous talk that was not hands-on workshop. It was the previous event of the city. If you want to listen, the talk is online.
Yeah, it's excellent talk really. And then there's myself, Anne-Marie Carwin from Kilkenny and Marco Di Santi, a few samples of some of their works there as well, that were part of the Breaking Boundaries exhibition that I curated in November, which was funded by Calmas WIT, that SETU, for the Irish Science Week. So they seem to be very interested. Again here, a fashion designer. If you just see, the picture's not fantastic, sorry about that. She's an embellished layer of fully biodegradable, bio-based, biodegradable sequins, which she made from algae herself and applied on a translucent linen and silk blend fabric. You can see there like what you can do with it, you know. It's just all about learning the recipes and then getting the method and drying them out, and you can shape them or sculpt them as fine as you want. A lot of artists like them to grow organically, but it depends what you intend to use them for. And this is another designer there who's used cocoa. So you see some of the shapes he's made there with cocoa. And you know, his intention is to use it for this house design. There's a bioplastic mini clutch made out of kelp. Now, so we got on here to the recipe. I think we might get stuck in soon enough to the actual making, if that's okay with everyone. So the basic one is the gelatin bioplastic ingredients. So we have the solvent there, which is water or dye. The gelatin, which is a polymer, and the glycerine is a plasticizer. So I think we just start off with this basic. Is everyone happy to get dug in straight away? Get cooking.